Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Elton here. So today we're gonna do something a bit different, something a bit more casual because just because I want to do it. So I've just finished my 15 years of official education. I just finished my last subject in my degree, passed it, great. But now I'm technically unemployed. Well, that's a video for another day. But yeah, some of the major questions some of my juniors has been asking me is, what have you learned during your degree, or what any tips to share for your course? And just some context, I'm a business psychology student. I just finished, I haven't graduated yet. I'm business psychology student at HELP University, and I'll be answering some of the questions that I've got on my Instagram. So I should put up an AMA on my Instagram stories, and you guys have fill in with quite some answers and questions. So I'll answer that today. But before we get to that, do hit the like and subscribe button. So yeah, it totally make my day. And yeah, this takes you like a minute to, like, give you guys 2 seconds. So yeah, some of the non-questions here are some definitions of university. So they I mentioned in the story overpriced education, and someone that just chipped in. Some of these universities are just places where you pay loads of money to experience hell. Another one is bad attitude from the personnel after receiving your money. Stupid someone. And you're only paying for brand name, which I totally agree. Sometimes you're paying to go to HELP, Taylor, Sunway, Monash. Sometimes it's not because of whether they deliver good education or not. It's because of the name. Oh, I'm a HELP graduate if you're studying psychology, and oh, I'm graduate from Monash, and if you're doing accountancy, I think, oh, I'm graduate from Sunway. So yeah, and I personally feel like with all the internet getting more and more advanced, and you're getting more and more educational stuff on the internet, university education is getting a bit overpriced because you learn a lot of basics in university. So there's that. But I just want to say that universities, they actually vet through their content, so you know what you're learning is legit, compared to online where you have to vet the content because some of them are just gurus. They're just saying stuff which doesn't really have real world applications, doesn't really make sense. So yeah, just do your due research before you do your online learning kind of thing. Yeah, okay, first question. First thing I get asked a lot is actually, what is business psychology? What do I study? So, and it's very hard for me to answer this because I think in Malaysia, what we learn in business psychology, it's really vague. But I think what the major 3 components which I learned from university in business psychology, I'm just going to say BP right now, it's definitely marketing. You do a lot of marketing, because consumer marketing, especially understanding human factors, all those. HR, you learn of IO, and also conflict management, resolution, all those kind of things, business management. And another one, I mean, definitely business is one of them. You learn all those basic, how to start businesses, small business management kind of thing. And because my course is business psychology, you cannot forget psychology, which is the other half of my degree, which I take a lot of elective psych subjects, which don't really go in depth, as I say. You are learning a lot of things, you know a lot of disciplines, but we don't really take specialized subjects to go in depth into different topics. So I guess that's the thing about business psychology. You kind of know a lot, but yet you don't really know anything. So if you want to know, you want to have a grasp of everything, and you want to learn a lot of stuff, and you know how you're going to apply it, I think, yeah, you could study business psychology. It's more towards a business. I can say business has the business in front, but less towards it's application of psychology in business. I can put it that way. So yeah, that's what business psychology actually is. And what's the point of next question is, what's the point of furthering university studies? So I personally think if you're doing business or marketing, that kind of shit, you probably don't have to do it. I know a lot of people who have never been to university doing pretty well in their business and or freelancing as a marketer, but yeah, I'm dissing myself right here because I went to university for that. But if you're doing something like professional courses, like probably engineering, lawyer, doctor, those kind of things, even psychology, I could consider something that's professional, specialized, I can say. You have to go to university to get the technical knowledge and the know-how and hone the skills there before you come up, because what you do has big real world consequences on other people. While for business, yes, you do have consequences of other people, but mainly you are the one that's going to be affected the most if your business fails or succeeds. So yeah, that's that. What's the point of furthering studies? Depends on what your discipline is, what your field is. Okay, next question. What's your ROI? I guess highest starting salary. They always say a degree is like a passport to your first job. And I know degree people are getting paid less and less, so I guess that is not really the case anymore. That's why I said university is starting to feel like it's getting a bit overpriced because you pay so much, your degree doesn't really mean shit right now because everyone has a degree and people are not really hiring kind of thing. So yeah, but for me, I think the best ROI is connections in university because everyone who goes to university are kind of a bit well off in a sense because they can afford the university fees in some way, regardless your loan, having a loan or what, because you can pay off the loan, I think. And I think it's definitely you have a story to tell because who goes to university and don't have that group project story or that one night that stuff happens. You always have group of friends which you do crackhead stuff with, which we do. It's the sense of community sometimes with your friends. That's the ROI which you get out of it. It goes way further after university, and yeah, I mean you lose some friends along the way, but it's in the moment. It's kind of memories, kind of thing also. And university, as I said, university definitely gives you the basic knowledge of things, but they don't really help you understand the real world consequence of and how does it really affect you and when you're in the working world. Well, what can I say is like projects, just example projects that you do in university, they are short term, they're just for that semester, for that subject. And in the real world, usually the projects that you do, the work that you do actually has long term consequences, probably like 5 years or so. You're doing it for the future or the kind of things. And in university, there's no immediate consequence to your project, it's just a mark. While if you're going to work in the real world, there is no marks, but it reflects in the impact and the kind of what you call that, KPI that you hit or not. So yeah, I think that's one thing that the ROI doesn't really reflect. In sense, what you pay doesn't really prepare you for the real world in a sense. But we'll get to that. The next question is, what's the most worth thing in university? As I said, friends, definitely. I cherish my friends a lot. Even though now it's very hard to keep contact with everyone, but I think university, the most worth it thing is your connections, your friends, the experiences there, and the memories, that kind of thing. So, next question. What is the one thing you took away from university or classes? Well, there's a lot of things you can take away from there. But I think one thing that I would say I took away was how to create a group for a project, how to pick the right people for the projects, because I'm not someone who's very well versed in the subject per se. So I will when I pick my groups for group projects, I will definitely have someone who's really good in the subject, has really good knowledge in the subject, and another one is someone who is very organized, so to get all your shit together, the forms, everything, deadlines. Another one is someone who can present very well, so if there's presentation, you get high marks there. Another one is, I don't know about other universities, but with HELP, almost every subject you're required to do a video of some sorts or some graphic stuff. So I would say for HELP students, in your group, always have a creative to just get the video editing, graphics works done. So yeah, that's how one thing I took away. It helps to know the group dynamics for each project and who works well on what. What can I say? It's work to your strengths, that kind of thing. So yeah. Next question. In your opinion, should people go to university to be successful? I wouldn't say you have to absolutely go to university to be successful. I know a lot of my friends who didn't go to university and are doing pretty well. And yeah, but I just say you don't really have to go to university, but you really have to be willing to learn. Yeah, willing to learn is a very big thing. So now coming back to university, and personally for me, I feel like university is a very good playground. It's like a sandbox for you to play. A safety net, can I say. Okay. So if you don't go to university, you go straight to the working world. There is no safety net. What you do has real consequences, reflects in your pay, your KPI, your boss is going to scold you, that kind of shit. But in university, you get, honestly, there's no real world consequences, only reflects on your marks, and you get to learn the dynamics of how stuff works and experiment with some crazy things, and which probably could save you a lot of time and save you from making a lot of mistakes when you get into the real world, because oh, this doesn't work. Someone who has done it explain it to you. But yeah, I don't really think it's absolutely necessary to go to university to be successful, because in terms of preparing you for the real world jobs, I don't necessarily really prepares you, because okay, so I've been doing freelance for like 3 years throughout my whole university, and I work with outside projects. I learn to deal with people for real world projects. I'm a facilitator, sort of workshop speaker also. The thing is, even though with all my preparation, all my freelance work before I graduated, the first job that I got, and even the things that I'm doing now, I'm not really prepared for that. In university, they never teach you how to properly create a proposal, or to kind of come up with a campaign for a brand that now you have real world consequences to it, compared to just coming up with a concept. The stuff you do has to work. In university, you don't really get to try that. Your lecturer is the one that determines whether your stuff works or not. And most of the time, they just determine whether you actually explain the theory or you understand the theory. And on theory, it works. And when you go to real world, theory honestly just makes up probably like 20% of everything in the business world. Execution and results are more important and are the main defining factors for whether you're successful or not. So I wouldn't say that you shouldn't go to university. I think university is a good option to have if you want to have a playground to just try out stuff. But yeah, it's not essential. So yeah, next question. If you could take a different degree, course, etc., what would it be? So I always had this question come up to me, because I've honestly been changing what I studied quite a bit. So I went to foundation. I did foundation in science because I thought I want to be an engineer. Because coming from an Asian family, when they ask you what you want to study, it's engineer. The usual stuff. So I said engineer, and I studied foundation in science. After my second semester, I did chemistry. My first semester I took chemistry. The second semester I took chemistry, and the first class itself, I was like, nope, I don't understand anything. I'm out of here. And I changed to foundation in arts, which took me on a whole different route. I had to rethink what I really wanted to do. And yeah, after that, I got into doing workshops, facilitation for my university, and I was thinking, hey, probably I should study business. Since everyone's studying business, Chinese love business. I think my family would be okay with business. So, my family's pretty open about it. They are okay with whatever I do. So, I took business, and after that, I was like, the thing that I probably shouldn't have done was, my friends were studying in psychology. So, most of my friends were in psychology. And my thought was, okay, I'm going to study business psych, so I can study business, which is what I want, and I can spend time with my friends in psychology classes. Which probably you should not do that, because mainly a lot of things. I had a bit of interest in psych, but I didn't really have interest in the really technical, specialized part of psych. So I did struggle in those subjects, but I don't regret it, honestly. But it's probably something you shouldn't do. Don't do it because your friends do it. That's just what I want to say. Yeah. So, what degree? Yeah. Back to the question, what degree or course I wanted to do is, I would say mass comm or something media related, because that's really what I'm interested in, media production right now. I run a podcast. You guys didn't know. I'm making this video right now, and I can say I'm a self-taught one-man production team, and it would have really, really helped if I actually properly learn how to do graphics, learn the software, and that was my course, and I have to learn every aspect to it. But this comes to the second thing just now, where I mentioned why university doesn't really matter, because I am doing all these media things, and I learn everything from YouTube and Skillshare, all this kind of stuff. And this is currently my main job. I'm curating, I'm managing people's content, making content, and I didn't go to university for that, and you can actually still do stuff. But if I could take a different course, I would take something media related, so I can properly learn, build something more have higher quality. Can I say that? So yeah, mass comm or for something media related would be my choice to learn more of the technical part. Because I currently suck at technical. I just put on the camera, I record, and I wing as I go, that kind of thing. So yeah, well, last question. Okay, any recommended camera for vlogging? So this is not university related. Any recommended camera for vlogging? Not too expensive. I'll definitely recommend the M50. Is currently what I have here. It's a gift from my dad. I think it's around 3K. So it's not that expensive. Pretty versatile. You can plug in your mics and everything. Vlogging, small, pocketable. So I use this to vlog for more high quality stuff. And if I'm doing some action stuff, moving around, I just bring my DJI Osmo. It's a cheaper version of the GoPro. I feel like it fits all the, you can check out there's the review for my DJI Osmo over there. But yeah, for vlogging, you can check out the M50 if you're looking for a camera. If you're looking for a action camera, the DJI Osmo. If you're using an iPhone, technically that could be your vlogging camera, because iPhones have really, really good camera quality. So if you're having an iPhone, right now I don't think so it's really necessary to buy a vlogging camera, but yeah, you do use your own money. But lighting really plays a big lighting, and sound really plays a big impact on your video. So not only your camera has to be good, so if you want people to listen to your stuff, or you're speaking like this, you gotta invest in a mic or something like that. And lighting, definitely, but now I'm just using natural lighting. So yeah, that's pretty much all the questions. So hopefully this helps any one of you answer all your questions, or just sharing my thoughts on what I learned from university. It's a lot of yes and no kind of thing. So totally, everyone works differently. So what I can say is up to you to decide for yourself based on all the information that's out there. What I can say, my advice would be talk to a lot of people, because people have experienced stuff. They will tell you what they've gone through, and then you probably could write down on a board or have a spreadsheet saying, oh, this guy did this guy didn't go to university, probably you could do that. And just come up with pros and cons. And most importantly, if I think you're in a tough spot financially, universities are getting a bit overpriced. So, and with the working industry not really hiring anybody, especially with the pandemic. So I think it's good to learn a skill set or two right now. Skill sets, I think, pay off more in the long term, especially when you get a job. So like graphics, videos, coding. I don't know, that's the three that just comes off the top of my head, especially we move into the new industry. So yeah, that's pretty much what I learned from university and what I can say. So do let me know if there's any topics, any other topics that you guys want me to talk about. Might do this more often, just a casual talk session. Yeah, as usual, like and subscribe. I think that's about it. You're gonna make my day. So yeah, please like and subscribe right now. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Stay safe. Cheers.